Hey, what's up, fam? Thank y'all for tuning in once again. As always, be sure to like, share, comment, and subscribe. And when you do subscribe, hit the notification bell so every time I drop a video, you will be the first to know about it. So, as y'all know, a couple of days ago, I dropped a video about a woman by the name of Jacqueline Marsall. And she said some very derogatory, detrimental, ignorant stuff about the attempted assassination of former and future President Donald Trump. Matter of fact, let me say what she said verbatim. Quote, "I don't condone violence, but," what did it say? Hold on, I almost lost. "I don't condone violence, but please get you some shooting lessons so you don't miss next time. Oops, that wasn't me talking." Jacqueline Marsall wrote on Facebook Saturday evening, shortly after Trump narrowly avoided being shot in the head during a rally in Pennsylvania. Like I say, did a video about that. You can go back and watch that. Go into detail on, my opinion, how I feel, facts, and everything else that go with that story. But here's an interesting fact that I didn't know. Scrolling through one of my news feeds yesterday and saw an interesting article. And the best way to segue to that is to read this next sentence from the New York Post. It says, "Marsall of Natchez worked as a field director for Representative Bennie Thompson, the Natchez Democrat reported." So I was like, that name popped up and I saw it on my news feed. I was like, wait a minute, Bennie Thompson. That name sounds familiar. And I'm like, okay, I know, like I said, that's right. He's representative out there in Natchez County. But the story I came across was very interesting. Look, there's a lot of people thinking that this is an inside job, may have been, the opinion. There's a lot of people, conspiracy theories, whatever you want to call it. People call you that when you see some things that just don't add up. And you're like, man, it's got to be something going on. Oh, conspiracy theories, you know what I'm saying? 10-4 Kufi world. It's the first thing they want to say. But just to kind of throw you off and to make people look at you like something's wrong with you. But when you sit back, take in all the little old evidence, all the little stories, things that come to you. Like I say, if 2 and 2 is not equaling 4, there is a problem. But 2 and 2 may just be about to equal 4 because, like I say, some people try to say first Trump might have staged it. And I would say, hey, being a devil's advocate is possible. Because if people say, hey, somebody died, a couple people got shot. You're like, yeah, well, there have been times that we know that the government or people in high up in position, authorities or whatever, in the battle of war, you're going to have casualties. You're going to have some innocent people that may lose their life. Like if you want to look at something recent, like the war in Ukraine, there's always stories about there's bombings and there's innocent kids and women and civilians, all the like, getting taken out by these bombs or by these soldiers going in, doing these things to them. But you don't see nobody stopping the war. All the U.S. is doing is just sending more money. Ukraine, Israel, same thing. With Hamas and the Gaza Strip, same thing. You see hearing about innocent people dying, but all the U.S. is doing is just condemning, but sending more money. So 1, 2 people getting taken out, it could be a casualty. But getting grazed in the ear, I don't think Trump would have really wanted that to happen because, my God, you got to be a super duper sharpshooter with a laser rifle or with a laser sight just to try to whiz by his head, or you just lucky as all outdoors. But like I said, I don't think he tried to do that, that Suge Knight, how they say Suge Knight playing on Tupac getting hit, but he got hit in the head and stuff like that. I don't think Trump would want to, I don't think anybody do nothing like that. So then you think, well, maybe it was inside job, maybe like the government, the Democrats or somebody trying to take Trump out. And first thing people say, no, you got to be crazy. That guy there, he looked like a little old, a chromosome missing little kid with a head like a yellow peanut M&M. Now something was wrong with that dude. He was a lone wolf. First thing they say, he had no ties to anybody, but yet somehow he got up on top of a roof. Police saw him. He pointed the gun at the police. Police took off running back down the roof, and then the dude turned around, was there for maybe a couple of minutes, and then started shooting, right? And then he got taken out. So kind of makes you wonder, you start thinking about JFK and stuff like that. But anyway, people still going to say, no, ain't no way in the world when nobody do that. It was a long person, this, that, and the third. Then you have this Marsaw lady who says, next time don't shoot, whatever the case may be. And we try to look at her like she's silly, you know what I'm saying? Silly rabbit trick, and she ain't for kids. But then you find out that she worked for Bennie Thompson. And who is Bennie Thompson? Finally, I'm going to get to that. It said Bennie Thompson. This is from MSN.com by way of, let me give it, Newsweek. And it said Bennie Thompson, who moved to strip Trump's security, faces backlash. You cannot make this stuff up. Let's get into the story, y'all. A U.S. representative who introduced legislation. A U.S. representative who introduced legislation, which means that he brought the bill to the table that would have taken away Donald Trump's Secret Service protection, is facing criticism from the former president's allies after Saturday's attempted assassination of the presumptive Republican pick for November's election. Democrats are going to sweep this under the rug if they haven't already done so. But I'm counting on you guys to share this video, share this information. And if you don't want to do that, at least go to the description box, look for the link to this article, because I'm going to post it, and share that with everybody you know. It says in mid-April, Mississippi Congressman and ranking member of the House Committee on Homeland Security, Representative Bennie Thompson, introduced legislation designed to strip convicted felons sentenced to prison of Secret Service protection. It was co-sponsored by several other Democratic lawmakers. Man, like I said, have you heard a peep of this story? And if you heard a peep, have you heard a holler, a cackle, a gaggle, or whatever you want to call it? I haven't. I was just scrolling through my news feeds and this came across, and I saw it, and the name just caught my eye, like Bennie Thompson. Wait a minute, he did what? Wait a minute, that didn't sound familiar. Then I started reading, like, oh. A source in Thompson's office told Newsweek at the time that the bill would affect anyone who was handed a sentence for a felony and would otherwise receive protection from the Secret Service. Nobody should have special treatment, and that happens to include the former president they added in April. Man, they've been trying. Everybody's been saying, I've been saying, they've been doing their best to try to keep this. They are willing to put this man's life in jeopardy if they can't take all his money, if they can't lock him up, and they want to leave him out there in the free world to be open for assassination attempts. Could it possibly be that they was hoping that something like this would happen? Because they have for a minute been speaking ill about Donald Trump, talking bad about him, saying how bad he is, this, that, and the third, and how great Joe Biden is. Although we in the black community know Joe Biden, again, helped author the 94 crime bill, said he didn't want his kids to be integrated into like a school jungle or whatever the heck you call it. He didn't want his kids to be in a school with black folks, things of that nature. Strom Thurmond was like one of his mentors, and we all know who that guy is. If you don't look him up, you know what I'm saying? So Joe Biden is as racist as they come, and people don't change their stripes. They just maybe cover them up or paint over them, but the stripes are still there. But they act like Trump is a felon. And see, that word felony is so, I want to say, misleading. And I'll get into that in a second. It says Trump became the first former president to be convicted of a felony in the following month. Sentencing was due to take place on Thursday, but will now likely happen in mid-September. The former president was attending a rally in Butler, Pennsylvania on Saturday when he said he was shot with a bullet that pierced the upper part of my right ear. Security agents quickly surrounded Trump, who was seen with his face covered in blood, and repeatedly called on the crowd to fight as he was rushed off stage. The Republican frontrunner was taken to the hospital and has since been released to his home in New Jersey. His campaign team said the former president still intends to travel to Milwaukee to the Republican National Convention, which gets underway on Monday, which was yesterday, as of the recording of this video. And the guy's name, they say one rally attendee was killed and 2 others were critically injured, according to the Secret Service. Here's my thing. Back to the felony thing. I think, first of all, this is some bull. And I think Trump being convicted as a felon and that being like a big thing, and making it a big thing to me is disingenuous. And I'll tell you why. I understand felons losing rights and privileges and stuff, which I feel in a lot of instances they shouldn't. It shouldn't be. It's amazing how certain things are clear across the board, like nothing can change. The rules apply to everyone under this certain umbrella on certain things. But with other things, it could be a gray area, especially when it comes to the judicial branch or just, laws in general. Like some folks can go and let's say you get a speeding ticket. One person can go in there and they say you have to pay that fine plus court costs. Another person can go in there and say, well, I'm going to give you a second chance. I can see your situation. You seem like you're having problems, but I'm going to need you to go ahead, pay the court costs and we'll get your payment plan going, this, that, and the third. Somebody might go in there, same thing, be like, hey, we're just going to dismiss it and we'll try again, blah, blah, blah. So everything is not, and I've seen things like that happen. Maybe not all at the same trial, but I've seen things like that in the same courtroom, but I've seen things like that happen. So even like, child support, I've been in child support court where dudes get railroaded. I've been in there where dudes get reduced and some dudes, women got to pay. Everything is not always across the board. So I think certain felonies too should not be. It's like, it wouldn't make sense to put a guy with the felonies of Trump in the same prison or in the same breath as a guy who has committed multiple murders, who has maybe, who knows, did something to a child or did something to a woman against their will. I don't think he should be in the same breath. As a matter of fact, he just should be, I guess, considered a felon just by paper law standards alone, and that's it. But people want to act like this dude is a felon, so he needs to be like thrown under the jail. And here's what I want to know. How many of us have family members who got convictions? Hell, how many of us here got convictions? I mean, be honest with yourself. Don't lie to me. Don't lie to yourself. Just be honest with yourself. And when I say convictions, I mean how many got drug convictions? DWI convictions. Deletion convictions. Convictions. Things of that nature. How many folks, got, like I say, some convictions like that. But yet, you want them to have a second chance. You would love for them to come out there and vote, right? You love them to be able to, you love them to get out there and vote for Joe Biden or the candidate or whatever. You may think they deserve to get a job, right? May deserve to carry a firearm. They still got the right to protect themselves and stuff like that. You feel they may need that because, number one, you probably think that because your family. But Donald Trump, a person you don't know, a person who really hasn't done anything to hurt you as a whole, as a U.S. citizen, as a whole. Now, you may say that he, was discriminatory back in the day because of buildings he had. Who ain't? Matter of fact, the people in the apartment that you live in are probably discriminatory against you. You're probably paying more rent than some other people in there and you don't know it. You might be paying higher utility bills in there, higher trash bills, in that apartment and you don't know it. They may say that you may have to pay a higher deposit in that deposit that but you just don't know it because of the color of your skin. It's quite possible. It's quite possible that people wouldn't give you a cup of water if they saw you on the street, people that own these apartment complexes, but yet you willfully paid to live there. with no question. You get mad if the rent don't get paid, but I mean, you get mad if something doesn't get fixed, but you ain't going nowhere. You know why? Because you're going to say you can't go nowhere. But my point is, it's going to be your excuse. But my point is, like, if you got an issue with something, you know what I'm saying, leave or do something about it. Either change the situation or change your surroundings or, you know, go somewhere and do something else. But you're not going to do that because you're comfortable and you like what you're doing. You like drama and bullcorn like that. But I just wanted to go over these felony counts because I think people need to really see how silly it is that these people were willing to put a former president of the United States, put his life in danger, in jeopardy, because he still got, because let's just be honest, the man still got knowledge on how the system worked, the government worked, all kind of, like I say, access to a bunch of stuff. You know what I'm saying? So it's like a bunch of government of secrets and stuff. So he don't have to necessarily get taken out. Hell, he could just get kidnapped and they torture him to get all these secrets. They know this, but they don't care. You're gonna bring in a bill that's not only just that you feel is only going to affect one person, but for some reason you can't see the forest for the trees. You can't really see in the future. Like, yeah, all you trying to do is do whatever you can to keep him from becoming president, even if it means putting his life in danger and, you know, him thinking he gonna go to jail and can't have Secret Service in prison. I doubt he even see a minute in prison because that just don't make sense. Because he's a former president. Come on now. You wouldn't want nobody as a former president. You want nobody as like a military general. You don't want them people in jail because the simple fact is you don't want them to get out there and like I say, government secrets to get out there to the wrong hands. You just got to think past it. But anyway, real quick, I'm going to go to npr.org. And this here is 34 felony counts in Trump's hush money trial. So y'all want to put this man's life in danger because he paid off a stripper that he supposedly had an affair with his own money. With his own money, pretty much, and just use unscrupulous ways to get it done so it wouldn't come back to him. I bet you y'all have people in your family. I don't know how if it's females. No, you know, matter of fact, I do believe I know females who have done that. But I'm sure you know somebody in your family who got, you know, a little old something on the side. And he's breaking off a little cash from time to time. And he's trying to do his best to make sure that it doesn't come back, doesn't get traced back to him. Come on. Do you want that person? Do you want your family member, your husband, your brother, your cousin, whatever, your daddy, your granddaddy, your son to go to prison for doing something like that? But you want Donald Trump to do it because you hate that man so much. Just because Joe Biden told you to and Kamala Harris told you to. But again, let's quickly go through these felony counts because maybe there is a charge here that I missed that he was doing something so bad that it took somebody's life or it took somebody's virginity or whatever the heck it was. Let's see, the 34 counts in Trump's hush money trial. Trump was charged with falsifying business records in the first degree. Not deleting nobody, not selling nobody no kilos of dope, but falsifying business records. That's it. Doing something with his money and lying about his money and just so he can do something with his money. That's just that has nothing to do with being like really like. Anyway, real quick. What does this say? Count one. I'm gonna run through it real quick. I'm probably gonna be able to read them all, but yeah, let's see. The first one is like invoices. Matter of fact, let's just do it. It's in groups. Invoices for legal services. Invoices for legal services. It says invoice from Michael Cohen marked as a record of the Donald J. Trump Revocable Trust. Invoice from Michael Cohen marked as record for, okay, same thing. So these are 11 charges for invoices for legal services. Another group of them says checks paid for legal services, which is 11 charges, and 12 charges of ledger entries for legal expenses. So basically what it is, let's say he had 12 things he did. And this is what you got to learn about the law. Like I said, that's why I say we got to learn about laws and money and taxes, stuff like that. That's the only thing that we got that's what dictates how we live and how we survive. Say you have 12 charges, right? So if he did one transaction, in that one transaction, he's guilty of creating an invoice. He's guilty of paying it with a check. And he's guilty for paying that invoice. For writing an entry into the ledger. So creating an invoice, paying the check, or receiving a check or giving a check or whatever, and then writing that down in the books. One transaction, 3 felonies, 3 charges, 3 felonies. Man, you guys can mention with this. This guy should be ashamed. Thompson should be ashamed of himself. This man should be him and anybody else who signed that law just for this reason. No, now I can understand it. Like I say, if Trump, like I said, did something so incredible, like I say, he taking people's lives or taking stuff, or taking people's, fertility, whatever the case, whatever you want to call it. I can understand that. Doing something to a child, doing something to a woman, drugging them up. You know what I'm talking. Y'all know what I'm trying to say. I can understand that. But for writing 11 checks and getting charged 3 times, that's kind of like, that's worse than getting charged with overdraft fees back then. I remember getting charged with overdraft fee, bought something, it went through, I bought something on a Thursday, knew I got paid on the Friday. This is back in my broke days. And back in the day with the bank cards, you used to be able to, like, you can either do debit or credit. But if you did credit, it could take a day for it to process. But if you did debit, it would process that same day. So let's say the true example is bought a battery. Battery went out on a Thursday, got paid on Friday. So I said, man, I need this battery. So I went up to the store, bought the battery, used the credit, thinking I'll be all right. By the time tomorrow hit, I get paid. Direct deposit, I'll be straight. But no, them sun guns put that sun gun through on that Thursday. The money wasn't there. So it came back. That was $25, $35, whatever. Then went back, tried to put it through there again somehow. And it came back. So I got like charged. And so then the next day it went through, they put it through again and it went through. So I got charged 2 times for one transaction. And they couldn't explain to me how that happened. They said, no, you don't got charged once. I said, no, I got charged twice. Explain to me again. And so, but anyway, long story short, I dropped that bank right then and there, got a new bank, and the minimized, had very few, if any, overdraft fees since then, because I just started managing my money better. Because that's how banks stay rich, is they get you with them overdraft fees. But anyway, yeah, man, this dude here, man, like I said, he ought to be shamed. But he's a Democrat. And like I said, every day, Democrats do more and more things to show you that they can be as ruthless and unscrupulous as they claim other people are. What the Bible say, take the plank out your own eye before you take the thorn out of somebody else's, or something like that. But you know what I'm trying to say. The splinter, take the plank out your eye before you take the splinter out of somebody else's eye. Something like that. But anyway, y'all know what I'm saying. But anyway, tell me what you think about this story. Like I say, man, shoot, you call me conspiracy theories you want to, but that's just kind of odd, kind of coinkadinkle that they tried to strip him of his security because he's a felon for writing some checks, trying to cover up something that he did, trying to keep on his. And that's the thing, because it's not even the point that he did something with somebody, with a woman, with a stripper, a porn star, whatever. I guess you're a porn star. I keep saying stripper, but whatever. With an adult entertainer. They're not even tripping on that. They're just tripping that he's a felon because he wrote her checks. But he paid off and lied about it. Lied about the way he did it. He tried to hide it. Let's say that. Yeah, this country is Babylon in the worst way. But anyway, tell me what you think about this story. Leave your comments below. Share it with the world. Let's have some intelligent conversation around here. You know how we do. Don't forget to support the channel. There's 4 ways you can support. Doesn't cost you a dime. You can like, share, comment, subscribe. All 4. Don't cost you no more than maybe 2 minutes out your day. But that mean the world to me and this channel. But if you do want to support financially, you can give super thanks, super chats, or go to the description box. Look down there. There are some links you can click on, like marlonmorale.com, where you can get perfumes, colognes, silk rag, silk scarves, silk do-rags, beard products, the works, all luxury items, luxury made items, and I feel reasonable prices. All that you can do. You can support that way, but however you support, hey, I appreciate it all. And with that being said, I leave you in peace, and I'll see you on the other side.